So I forgot to film the intro for this video, so if I look a lot different, it's for that reason. But welcome back to my YouTube channel, you guys. I am finally filming an updated eyebrow routine. It has been, I think, over a year if you watched the last one. Well, this one I'm still using similar products, just different techniques, some different products, going more into detail, but let's just get right into the video. Okay, but these eyebrows are bushy, and well, sis, I did not feel like going to go get my eyebrows threaded because the pain of getting your eyebrows threaded, if you know, you know. And then I was going to try and thread them myself because, fun fact, I know how to thread eyebrows. I can't thread the bottom of my brows, but I can thread the top. But I don't have no yarn, hilo or whatever at the house. And well, I'm not gonna go to the store. So I was trying to pluck them, but oh my goodness, I think I need to sharpen up my tweezers because the hairs were like slipping and I just got impatient. So this is going to be a bushy eyebrow tutorial. But if you don't have bushy eyebrows, you can also do this technique. So it'll be better if you don't have bushy eyebrows because you know your brows will look cleaner. But if you do have bushy eyebrows, then I got you because that's currently the situation at the moment. They're not like, oh my god, too bushy. And honestly, I did this one more than this one, but I gave up halfway through this one. Okay, so let's get started. I'm just gonna give you an overview of my eyebrows. This eyebrow routine will work with any type of brows, like thick brows, thin brows, any eyebrows. I swear by this eyebrow routine because my hairs are kind of thick. You know, they're not like super thin, but they are stubborn, so they don't stay. So sis, if you have that trouble, or if you don't, this is going to be super easy if you don't, but if you do have that trouble, I understand because those are my brows and it took me honestly a while to get this technique down, like find the products that work for my hairs. And I feel like if they work for my hairs, they will work for any hairs, honestly. So what I just did right now is I just brushed my eyebrows because, like I said, I was plucking them, so I don't want no little hairs in that area. I am going to be using the Got to Be Glued, the yellow bottle. I purchased this a long time ago. As you can tell, am almost done with it. It's definitely used and abused. But when I was first doing my eyebrows, little story behind it, I know I ramble, but a lot of people were telling me to do or use the black bottle. So I tried it when I went to Texas to go visit my best friend because, you know, she moved out to Texas, and I wasn't gonna take this, and I couldn't find like a little container to pour this. It was like a last minute trip. And she only had the black bottle, and I tried. I was like, you know what? I've heard good things. I've heard it's better than the yellow bottle. So I tried it, and no. All of a sudden, I've noticed that a lot of people are starting to notice that the yellow bottle is better than the black bottle. So honestly, I personally recommend the yellow bottle over the black bottle. I am using this Colourpop eyebrow pencil. The spoolie is disgusting, I am aware, but I like to use these spoolies that like I've used already so many times to put, you know, the gel on, because I just like slather it on with this spoolie. And honestly, you can use any other spoolie. I have this one too that, you know, just comes in a brush set. You know how it always comes with like a spoolie on the side? I usually save those. And what I'm going to do, I just grabbed a little bit from it and I'm just going to apply it all over my brows. Try not to get it like too much like on the top or the bottom of the brow, just because you want to have less glue to remove. But I do just want to spread it all around the hairs. And then while that one is sitting for a bit, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm grabbing like this amount. Just depends on how much brow hairs you have, how long your eyebrows are. I'm going to do the same to my left side. And I know it's a lot of gel, but it works for me. Like, I swear, you guys have been asking for this eyebrow tutorial for the longest now, and I needed to do an updated one. If you want to be extra, you can like brush them up and down to make sure that you're getting it everywhere. I personally am not gonna lie, I don't do that. I just, like I said, spread it right here. And then I'm going to grab a clean version of this brow pencil. So this spoolie is clean and this one is the used one. And since my right side has been sitting for a bit, I'm going to start just pushing the brow hairs up. And as you can see, because I let it sit for a bit, it's already like ready to mold. Only because from my experience, if I put the glue and then I automatically keep doing that, the hair will not stick. I'll have to be doing this for like a while for the hair to stick onto my skin. And I'm not gonna lie, I do usually prefer my spoolies already a little bit used, like gel in them, just because I feel like they work better personally. So I am going to be doing this technique to my left side also. You also do not want to let the gel sit for too long, because then your brow hairs are not going to move, sis. It's going to be so hard and painful. But look at that, they're already coming together. So because these hairs right here, as you can tell, they're still not like laid to my skin. I do like my hairs laid, like glued to my skin. So if I touch my eyebrows, my brow hairs are not going to go nowhere. That is how I get my brow look. It's just, it works for me. I like the way it looks. So I'm just going to grab a little bit more gel and just apply it in that area. And also when I do get my eyebrows threaded, I do like to get them threaded a little bit thinner than I'd like. And the reason for that being is because I've noticed that since I've been doing this for who knows how long, but I have been doing my eyebrows like this for a while now. And like I said, I've just been experimenting and finding things that work for me. So when I do my eyebrows a little thinner, when I go get them threaded, and I go to lay them like this, my eyebrows are not so thick. Just because personally me, I want a medium looking brow, not thin, because this is medium. But if I weren't to have, you know, my eyebrows glued down, they would look thin, right? So it just depends. Honestly, sometimes we have to sacrifice certain things. But if my eyebrow hairs were naturally very long and bushy, then when I go to do the gel brow look, my eyebrows are going to look thick, because when I first started doing this technique, honestly, that's what my brows look like. They look like huge bushes on my face. So I've kind of learned that if I get my eyebrows done thinner, they look better when I do my makeup and do the brow gel look. Hopefully that made sense. It makes sense in my head. Now I'm just going to continue doing this till all of my brow hairs are laid like this. So I let them dry for a bit and see which little stubborn hairs are still moving. And then, like I said, I'll continue to do this. Okay, now that they're semi-dry and laid, when I tell you laid, they are not going nowhere. That is what I want and love. I'm going to be going in with the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. Now, honestly, this is an option. I've learned that you don't need it, or I don't need it. I love the applicator because it's flat. So all I do is just press on the hairs. And like I said, I'm doing this after they've basically dried down. And one coat is fine. I'm just using both ends just to apply that half my brow one end, and then I'll switch it, or I'll flip it on the other. And what this does is, I don't know if y'all have experienced this, if you've tried this gel brows before, but with this one, sometimes, I wonder why, just sometimes, like the brow will turn white. And that's why a lot of people recommended the black bottle, but no, sis, I personally am just sticking to the yellow one. So I found that using this Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter, it is clear, works very well with my eyebrows not looking white or also not turning white throughout the day. And after that's dried down, which honestly it doesn't take long for this to dry down, I just like to grab a couple Q-tips, wet like only this end of them, and then have this end dry. You can use micellar water, I think that's what it's called, but I don't have any. I mean, I should go buy some just because I've heard it makes it easier. But if you don't want to buy some and you don't have some and you don't want to buy some for this, honestly just wet the ends of your Q-tip and just flip like between the wet side and the dry side and just clean up around the brow. And the reason why you have to do this is because you can't really see it now. I mean, you can see like a shine right there, but once you go to apply any liquid or powder near that area, the glue, you will be able to see the glue. It's just gonna look like you have dry skin around that area. And well, sis, that is not the look that I personally want. So I do like to just clean up around that area. And if hairs do, because I have experienced it before, start to pop out, they're no longer laid, just go back in how I did it at the beginning, you know, just applied a little bit on the spoolie and just lay the hairs back down, and it works. And also a little tip is I do kind of like to go near the hairs right here, just because I do like to clean up the top of my brows. And sometimes I don't know what it is, but I've also experienced it, and it's only honestly like in this area of the brows where like the glue starts to lift a little bit. So I'll be out, you know, with my friends or family, and they'll be like, oh, you have something right there. And they'll go in to pick at my eyebrow without even asking and pull the glue. I was like, oh my God, don't, no. And they just, yeah, it's just a disaster. But I do just kind of like to go in lightly with it just so the glue won't peek through like that. And yeah, that was a funny experience. I feel like if I were to be using micellar water, I think I'm pronouncing it right, this process would be much quicker, honestly. So I personally do want to go get some, but I was watching my first, because I've done this similar tutorial. This is just an updated eyebrow routine on my YouTube already, and sis, she has come a long way with like the personality, you know. I feel like, I don't know, if you've seen that video and you compare it to this one, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's as good as it's going to get. This is what the eyebrows are looking like, just naturally laid and slayed. Like I said, my brow hairs are not going anywhere, and that is what I personally want. Now for this part right here, I do want to use pomade, but honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I switch on and off between pomade or brow pencils. This one is the Hourglass and this one is from NYX. This one is the Hourglass Arch Brow Micro Sculpting Pencil in the shade Dark Brunette. I appreciate how tiny this pencil is, and it just helps me be a bit more precise. And then this one is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Espresso. It all just depends how dark you want your eyebrows. This is the OG right here. I've been using this for years, honestly since high school, and I am 23. This is the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Granite. I do like the shade Granite because my hair is black and I do not mind dark brows. For today, like I said, I'm just going to be taking the pomade and this Beauty Cave E202 brush. Anastasia also has really good brow brushes, but like I said, I'm just going to be taking this brush right here. And I'm not going to go heavy, I'm just going to tap it, because if you've ever used the pomade, a little bit does go a long way. And I don't want my brows to look harsh, I still want them to look a little natural. So now what I'm just going to do is basically outline the bottom of my brows, and I'll just kind of start shading my brow in as I go. I do like to start in the middle and then work my way towards the end of my brows. I don't really like to apply much product in this area till I'm almost done with my makeup, just because I find it that when I'm applying my powders, my foundation, that area tends to, like, you know, just foundation, powder, you lose the color. So I will be touching that up, like I said, towards the end, and I will be using a different product for that. For now, I'm just outlining the bottom and also just where I have a bald spots, because when you do gel eyebrows, sometimes you do have bald spots, and well, if you do, because I know I do, this is where this product right here comes in. This one is also really good. These two are just my top two, are the only ones that I personally have used and liked. And this one is the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen in the shade Espresso. And this one is from Benefit. It is the Benefit Brow Microfiling Pen in the shade Medium Brown. So the only difference between these two is that this one is a lot less messier, and it is more soft on the brows. So if you do want that soft look, I do recommend the Benefit Micro Filing Pen. Also, it is easier to use. You can definitely be a little bit more harsh with the next one, but it works. This is what the applicator looks like. Because it's so precise, you want to have a soft hand. So if you do not have a soft hand, get this one, because with this one, this is what the applicator looks like, and it is honestly way easier to use. But if you don't have a soft hand and you still want to get the next one, I do have solutions for that too. So where I have like a bald spot, or just gently, like if you place your finger on your face, you won't be as harsh because you're not pressing down as hard. You're just like doing light strokes on the brows where you have those, like I was saying, bald spots. And if you accidentally end up being a little too harsh, all you have to do is take a wet Q-tip and just gently go over it, and it will soften the color. I mean, you can also just get a lighter one, but like I said, I personally like this color just because it's more natural to my brow hairs, and you can already see the effect that it's doing. It's giving me like little fake hairs, I guess, and that's the difference. I have a bald spot right here, which I will be using this pen for that bald spot. And then let me just show you what the other one looks like. So I'm gonna use that one towards like this part of my brows just to give you an idea, and it's a lot easier and a lot softer. But literally this is all I do with this one, and I'm done. With this one, you just have to be a little bit more extra. Now that I have filled in both of the brows, and honestly I can walk out right now, my brows are ready. But no, I am going to do my full face. But right now I'm just going to clean them up just because I love cleaning up my eyebrows. I do not like to do my eyebrows and not clean them up. It gives it more of a clean look. I need to pick up a new one of these because honestly I'm running very, very low. So this is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in specifically the shade light beige. I like this color just because I used to go in with a really light concealer for underneath the brows, and it was just too light that it just, I don't know what I was thinking, you know? We all have those old makeup days or whatever. I want one closer to like my skin tone. Just looks better in my personal opinion. So that shade has worked for me, and I've been using that shade for a while now. I'm taking this old Eco Tools angled brush. I do not know the name. I have had this brush since 2016, I think. You can take any angled brush, and I am just going to be cleaning up my eyebrows. I've seen a lot of people clean up the bottom of their eyebrows with a flat concealer brush. If that works for you, that works for you. That does not work for me. I like the precision that this brush gives me, and it's just easier for me. Now that it's looking like this, I am just going to take this flat fluffy brush, you get what I'm saying, honestly any brush will work, and just blend out the concealer underneath my brows, just because if I leave it like this, it's going to dry down in this area and it's going to leave me a harsh line. We just want everything to blend out really, really, really nicely. And as you can see, the shade of the concealer is still a little light, but look at what that difference makes. I also clean up the top of my brows, but I do that once, you know, I'm applying my foundation and stuff. So I am just going to be doing the same exact thing to this side of my brows. And if you feel like your eyebrows are looking a little too thick, I do recommend you to just, you know, go in a little bit higher with the concealer, just because you can give the illusion that your brows are thinner. I've done that before when I've had this situation where I don't get my brows done for a while and my eyebrows just look a little too thick. So I'll just go in a little bit higher and just make my brow look a little thinner. These are the brows cleaned up with concealer. And let me give you like an up close look of what they're looking like. I am a huge believer that brows can either make you or break you. I do have bad brow days, but luckily today was a good brow day apart from the bushiness that's going on. Now I'm just going to apply my foundation and then come back and show you how I clean up the top of my brows. I know I look insane, but I am in the process of doing my base routine. And I am going to be cleaning up the top of my brows. I mean, this is super simple. I'm just taking my flat concealer brush, and I swear this is a Makeup Shack brush that has lasted me a very long time. So all I'm going to do is take some of the foundation that I already have on my forehead. And this is also where I can decide how I want to shape my brow. Like if I want to arch it a bit more. If I also want to thin it out, I can also do it from the top of the brow instead of the bottom. So you can do it both ways. Like let's say I feel like it's still a little too thick, I can definitely thin it out. And I mean, just look at how easy that was. You can definitely just blend out the foundation on top of it, but it's not going to give it that clean look like how it's giving it right now. So far, this is what the brows are looking like. And then I'll just blend out the foundation that is left on the top. And for the middle of my brow, because I don't want to be too harsh, like I still like the beginning of my brows to be more soft, kind of give it an ombre look, even though it's filled in like the same color all the way through. I'll just take my foundation brush and just go through the middle like this, just because like I said, I also don't want a squared brow. I want it to like fade out a bit, and then I'll retouch it once I finish my full face. So I'll be back once I finish my full face, and I'm going to do the last touches on my eyebrows. So now that I am done with my whole makeup, I am going to go back and retouch my eyebrows like I mentioned earlier. And I do like to go in with the Anastasia Brow Powder Duo in the shade dark brown, and I will mainly use this shade right here. And taking the same brush that I used to dip into the pomade, it is the Beauty Cave E202 brush. I will just be doing the same thing that I did with the pomade and just outlining the bottom of my brows, just making sure that it's like giving a crisp line, and then I'll just go up like this just to add a little bit more color in case I did lose color. And when I am doing the front of my brow, I like to work more softly and just push the powder up like this. Usually I'll start losing like the color on the ends of my brow, so I'll just kind of fill that in. Like I was saying, just anywhere where I see I lost color. So this was my updated eyebrow routine. All the products are going to be linked in the description box below. If I missed anything or if you guys have any questions, make sure to comment it down below. But I will see you guys in my next video.